and I'm going to talk about music. For those of you who don't like music, then you're in the wrong presentation. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at a file. We're going to take a look at a file that contains a list of all the songs that have been played in those games that I've been catering for. And I have to pay royalties for those songs or collect royalties for those songs. Okay, so I have a list, an Excel file, that contains a list as I received from the different sources. It contains the artist, it contains the song, it contains the home team that were playing that song, so I can go and build them. And from a very, very, very quick look, you can see again that there are some inconsistencies there. There's Alanis Morissette with You Ought to Know and some issues there. There's an occasion Britney Spears and B Spears, which are the same thing. And if I want to group those all together for whatever reporting or royalties in this case, then this is quite important that I get it right. Otherwise, I may pay Billy Spears, who may have a song called Toxic and didn't even know about it. Okay? So I want to do something that we called matching or deduplication. I want to take this list and I want to see all the identical entries inside it. And I'm again going to do it in DQS. This process in DQS is called matching. So I'm going to open my favorite knowledge base, and I'm going to open it for something called matching policy. Now again, the concept holds. I first need to build my knowledge base, train my knowledge base to make sure it has some knowledge in it, and then use it in a project. So in this action, I'm going to train my knowledge base for matching. I'm going to define a matching policy. I'm going to train it until I'm happy with the results, and then I'm going to run a full matching project on the entire source. So what's matching policy in a sense? So I'm going to take an Excel file, a small file called matching sample that contains a short list of artist, song, home team, plays, the same format of the file that I've seen earlier, only a bit smaller. And I'm going to map the artist and the song to the domains. But I don't have any domains because I've never dealt with songs until this moment. So I'm going to create them on the fly. And there's artist, and I will create song. Now, naturally, this is not going to be a very successful matching exercise because there's absolutely no knowledge in the domain. Why am I doing it? I'm doing it to show you that even without knowledge, DQS is smart enough to do some things on its own, hopefully, without crashing. So right now, I need to define the matching policy rules that will govern my matching process. So I'm going to create just the most simple rule. I'm going to say, if the songs are similar, it's a match. Okay, I'm going to give the song a 100% weight in the calculation. I'm going to test this rule. Okay, so now I'm going to run on all those sample records and try to find, with our internal algorithm, things that are close enough in the song. Okay, and actually I found something. Okay, I think that raise the confidence a bit and run it again to make sure I find some interesting stuff. Okay, so I found some things. I found Florence and the Machine, Dog Days Are Over, and The Dog Days Are Over. Well, that's a nice match. It's indeed the same song. I found Don't Cry Tonight. It's an exact match. I found Fireworks and Firework by Katy Perry. All seem good. Let's see what's no false positives here. Let's see if there are any false negatives. Let's see if I missed anything. So ABBA, Dancing Queen, and Mamma Mia are okay. Alanis Morissette is okay. Billy Idol, White Wedding, and White Wedding Part 1. I should have found that, but it didn't because they are too distant to find them. Okay, let's see what else is there. Britney Spears, I'm a Slave for You and Slave for You, probably the same song. So it seems like my policy is not that good. Maybe I'll just make it a bit better. I'll add another field here. And based on the artist. And I'll give 50% weight in the calculation to each of them. And let's play this again. So it's now running on my new rule. Let's go back to the matched. Okay. And again, Katy Perry was here. We saw it earlier. Don't Cry Tonight was here. The Dog Days Are Over here. But now I found I'm a slave to you and slave for you. I'm a slave for you and slave for you, which is good. and I found those white weighting. Oh, also good, which was pretty much what I meant to do. Now I don't need to even remember. I can just go ahead and look at the matching results of the two executions and see how many clusters were found in the previous one that was 3 and the average cluster size, etc. And now there's 5 clusters, and I analyzed the clusters, and there's no false positives in there, so everything that the system found is good. And you know what? I'm pretty happy with the results. I think that this is a good enough matching policy for this data source. Okay, so I'm going to hit. Leave me alone. I'm going to hit next. Now, theoretically, or not theoretically, I could have built multiple rules. I could have built a funnel that's very, 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 very long. First match on this, and then on what's remaining, match that, and then match that, and then match that. Now I have a chance to run the entire policy together. But in our specific example, as I created only one rule, I don't need this. So just hit finish and publish. And again, this was just training my knowledge base. Ooh. Fine. Something is very, very wrong here. Hopefully I should have a matching project already working. It's a good thing it doesn't ship next month. Let's try this one. So now I'm using a knowledge base that has matching policy already in it, so I can use this for matching. Now I'm going to run, hopefully, without any vowels, an actual matching project. I'm going to map my artist and my song. And I'm going to hope that it won't crash. So I can look at the matching results and found that it found 12 clusters and whatnot. So let's take a look at what was found here. So it found Alanis Morissette, you ought to know. It found Beatles in the Beatles. I can double click here and see why did it think it was a match. Okay, so it thought it was a match, and this is a very important auditing feature because you always want to test the system that's been suggesting things to you and say, why the heck did you think that this is a match? Maybe somebody put that, I know, Beatles and Britney Spears are identical in the knowledge base, and therefore I produce some junk results. So I want to be able to see the exact reasoning that brought the system into this matching suggestion, into this clustering algorithm. So in this case, the song was completely identical. The Beatles were 64% contribution, all in all resulting in an 82% match, which is above the score that I defined. And there's white weighting and white weighting part 1 that we were hoping to find. And there's I'm a slave for you like that, and I'm a slave for you like that, and a whole bunch of other corrections in there. And the system basically found a lot of entries that are similar, even though it had absolutely no knowledge whatsoever of what a song is and what an artist is, other than saying that it's a string. Okay, so I'm now going to explore the unmatched. Then there's still going to be things like Miss B. Spears here with the song Toxic, and Britney Spears with the song Toxic that the system could not find because they weren't close enough from the algorithm perspective. So that's all fine. But now I've prepared a music knowledge base that's a bit smarter. And well, it's going to be our last demo. Okay, so all I did here was enter some values. Okay, not that much. I said that B. Spears is Britney Spears, and that Gaga is Lady Gaga, and that Keisha is Keisha, whatever that thing is. Maybe you know better than me. Looks like junk. And Prince is Prince and the Revolution in another name. And that's the only knowledge that I have. I built a very little amount of knowledge into my system just so I have something to play around with. I'm going to run the same matching project exactly. This time on my music. And I already prepared the matching policy, which is completely identical. And I will map the exact matching file. and the exact same mapping, and I let it play. Okay, so already start seeing some results here. Let's take a look, and this time it found it. Okay, once I gave it some resemblance of knowledge that B. Spears and Britney Spears are identical, it found it as a match, and not only did it find it as a match, it found it as a 100% match. Because I said that B. Spears and Britney Spears are identical, Toxic is obviously identical, so I helped the system become smarter. So assume there's somebody who's out there interested in building an artist domain. You can just go ahead, download it, import it into your knowledge base. Now you have all the knowledge needed to use artists as knowledge.